Super. So let's start from the place where we ended last week with the
Okay, sir.
on yeah, we went through the software development patterns. So now let's jump into strings. But this is something, guys, which we can actually go through really fast because we covered up most of the points. Now it's just to try it out and see how it works. So strings, we basically created the strings and we did the concatenation part also. අපි print කරලා බලන්න string එකක් කොහොමද එන්නේ කියන එක. So
Oh, sir.
those things are all done. And මට අහන්න බැරුණා, how is your websites going on? හැදුවද මොනවා හරි?
නෑ සර්.
ඒ කියන්නේ
නාට්‍යත් කරන්න බැරි වුණා.
මොකද කරන්නේ මේ දවස්වල ස්පෝර්ට්ස් මීට් දානවා ඉස්කෝලේ.
නෑ මම ඉස්කෝලේ යන්නේ නැති හින්දා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් මීට්ස් ඒවා නෑ. හැබැයි ක්ලාස් වල වැඩ තිබ්බා ගොඩාක් එක්සෑම්ස් තිබ්බා.
ඕකේ
මන්ත්ලි ටෙස්ට් වගේ.
හරි monthly dates exams එනවානේ. Yes. Okay. හරි perfect. Okay means they කරගෙන යන්න all good. අරකට මේ side just as a side hustle try to work on it because learning web development is actually quite a good thing if you guys are planning to get just let me probably they are paying on the web developer salary. So if you take by default in Sri Lanka, depending on the experience level, salaries changes obviously, but here in this case you can see this is the average salary for a web developer, not an engineer. And then once you become an engineer, usually you can get up to about couple of thousand, at least about $2,000-3,000. So that's actually quite good. And we will always need web developers because the world is evolving and everything is actually moving into the web now. So ඔය වැඩේ නිසා මේ web developers කොහොමත් ඕනේ අපිට. Okay, so strings. So I'm using the same collab as we had before, so it will be the same thing. And let's just quickly jump through this and see how it works. So strings, as you guys know, strings basically works as a similar way of an index of an array, right? So if I do something like this, so let's say if I create an array called hello, and if you do something like this, HEL, okay, so if we define an array like this and if I print this, let it start. Still starting. Yeah, okay, so you can see the array is printed out. So in the array we have the elements as individual items, right? So since it's an array, so we do have data set into different, let's say, indexes. So the strings actually works in a similar way. So I'll call this hello array and we'll just print this here, and I'll create another string called hello.
Ratan Tata is dead now.
Seriously?
Yeah. He was dead in 2024 October 9 after my birthday.
Okay. I thought he was alive. Okay. Silly.
Age 86.
86. Okay. Super. So yeah, so I have two different data points, right? So here we have an array and we have a string. But how it works is if I actually try to access a point inside the string as 0, I'm going to get h. Okay. So similarly, if we try to access it in an array, we also get the first letter. Okay. So when it comes to the representation, when it comes to the actual Python representation, කෝඩ් එකේ එක හැදෙන විදිහ, ඒ කියන්නේ අපි අර එකක් හදන එකේ ස්ට්‍රින්ග් එකක් හදන එකේ දෙපැත්තම බැලුවාම විදි දෙක එකයි. හරි. array එකත් මේ විදිහට හැදෙනවා. string එකත් මේ විදිහට හැදෙනවා. So if you take the actual implementation, it would look like this. හරි. So that's why if you guys can remember අපි අර පොඩි වැඩක් කරා අපි මේ අපි එක එක string pointers ගත්තේ. මේ පැත්තෙන් 5යි අර පැත්තෙන් 2යි ඒ වගේ. So that is why we can actually do this. So if I try to do something like this, sorry. See? So since it's an array, now we have the option of taking 3 letters from index 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So yeah, 1, 2, 3, likewise, okay? So let's jump in and see how it works. So I'm just going to leave this as it is so that you guys can refer to it, and I'll open another code. So all the examples are still here. I'm not deleting anything, so you can literally go through the book and see how it works. So now when it comes to this, the primary one of the main functions we use is len, L-E-N. Okay, so the idea behind len is something like this. So if I want to check if the string has a length, okay, so this len function we can actually use print, and I can use the len, and if I put hello, see what it will give. It will give out the number as 5. Okay, so 5 is technically the particular number of elements inside the string. So mainly we want to use this function when we get into situations where we need to validate stuff. Example is like, let's say if a user is if a user inputs a string. So okay, let's check this out. So check if the user has provided a name using the len function. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. So we can actually get the name, right, and we can use the input now. So we can say please enter your name, right? Okay, now see what happens here. We can get the name to the name variable, this one, okay, and then we can check if the name is greater than 0. So if you do not enter a name, then that would not, this condition will fail, right? So if I run this, let's see how it works. So please enter name. I'm just pressing enter, and nothing happens. Okay, let's add the else as well and say you have not entered a name. Okay, and run. Okay, so please enter the name, and if I press enter, I get the message you have not entered a name because this condition fails because the length is not there, right? So if I press enter again, and if let's say if I add Vipula, then I'm going to get the message hello Vipula because the variable contains a length. Okay, so this is how, in simple terms, this entire process works. Okay, so we use the len function to mainly understand if the variable has a certain value in it. Okay, I mean a length of strings in it. Nice. So in a different way, we might use this to check for the length of the string as well, right? So can we try this checking length part out? How can we do this? So we need to know if the create and write a program to check the length of the password. If the password is entered less than 6 characters, the program should output the password you have entered is not long enough. Got the idea? Can you guys do this? and show me. Okay, let me take a picture and I'll add this to a text. Hold on. Oops, not text. Yeah.
The power police party.
I think the Daham's battery low. Why is it? Oh, what happened? Hold on. Something happened to the code. Hi, let me add this. Yeah. It adds in a binary. Okay, so when you're adding an image, that actually converts it into a base 64 image. That's why hold on. Let me erase this and let's just put the text. I'll hold on. Okay, so can you guys look at this code and try to do something similar according to this question? Pull on the gun, bin look, and the hub. So the question is asking you to write a program. Okay, so let me do something like this. Okay, so okay, ඊට පස්සේ මොකද ගන්න? What's the next point I need to change? Yes. Cool. Are you guys around or? Oh my, something.
What, sir?
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for you to tell me how to do this. The question. Check the question. See, try to understand what is asking. ප්‍රශ්නේ තේරුණාද? ප්‍රශ්නේ අහන්නේ password length එක බලන්න කියලානේ. So this is asking you to check for the password length, right? So now how we should do is, now it says if the password entered is less than 6 characters, the program should output the password you have entered is not long enough, right? So that means first we ask for the password and then we check if the length is greater than 6 characters, right? If the length is greater than 6 characters, then we can send the message length of
Done.
password is nice, perfect. Okay, and here it would be
Sir, is it correct?
correct means code. Can you show me your code?
Yeah, I sent the. Yeah. 80 minutes, sir.
Sure thing. Otherwise, you can share your screen. That's also good.
Sir,
Yes.
I'm just asking this like me because actually how do you spell access?
Sorry.
Access.
Access. Yeah.
How do you spell?
No, I didn't get your question, Raham. Sorry.
Sir,
Yeah.
I'm
He
asking
asking
how
the
do you
spellings
use?
of access.
Thank you.
Access.
Yes.
Yeah, access. ACC ESS.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay. Yes. So if you have any spelling issues, just type it on Google. That's the easiest way to find out.
Sir, I shared my screen.
Yeah, I just saw your code. Perfect. It's great. That's exactly what we need. So here, same thing I did. So if I add couple of characters, then I get the password not enough. If I add 6 characters, still I get the password not enough. But if I add 7 characters, then I get the password. That length of password is okay. Okay, nice, perfect. So it's a simple question. It's a simple. Sorry, something happened to my video. No? Okay, now it's there. It's a simple.
Sir, did you color your hair?
No. I have this. I have a green screen at back to me, and that's why the green color is actually coming up. Okay, that would sort out if I turn on the lights. Cool. I'm not using the light that much because that will. Yeah, so if I turn on the lights, then the color changes, but it's a bit hard for my eyes to turn on keep the lights on while I'm sitting. That's why. Okay, perfect. So nice. That means you got the question correct. So always remember the length is very important because that's the only way where we can validate if a string is intact and valid. Okay, so perfect. So now we do have another method of basically looping through characters. Okay, now example is, now this would basically take the length and we can actually loop through the index of the range.
Sir, can you show your code, please?
Yeah,
No, not it.
this is the code.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
My one getting me the password you have entered is not longer enough.
so I saw the code. Hold on. Yeah, that's perfectly
Is it
fine.
correct?
Yeah, it's perfect. Yes.
Okay, sir.
So we check the length. If the length is less than 6, then we go with the condition. Perfectly fine. All good. Okay, so jumping back to the code. So now let's try out something where we can loop through a text. Okay, so loop through a string using a range. Okay, let's see how we can do this. So let's take a string. So let's take a, okay, so let's take a string like this, and then we can use a loop similar to this. So we did for loops now. So if we take a for loop, we can actually use the range function there. So we have the function called the range, which will then, if we give a length to the range function, you guys know that it returns an array, right? So let me print something like this range. If I say range 10, then I'm going to get the range 0 to 10. See, so that's literally going to return a value of an array, a list of items starting from 0 to 10. Okay, so what we do is, now when we pass the length of the string into the range function, that means we can get a range defined from this particular function itself, which will then we can loop as the index. So as you guys know, if I do something like this, story, and and if I try to access as 0, I'm supposed to get h, right? See, likewise here what we do is we use this particular loop to loop through the entire string. See, now when we do this, we can immediately loop through the entire string and print the data. Okay, so can you guys try this out as well? I'll give the code. Let me send you the code. Alright, I'll put it on Zoom, that's easier. Yeah, I put it on Zoom. You can give it a try and see.
Done?
Perfect. Nice. Okay, so I hope you got the idea. Daham, you also okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Like I send a code that I asked AI for help as well.
You if you want, you can share it.
I send it in the group chat. I didn't use like Google Collapse. So.
Cool. Okay, now I got it. Yeah, that's also perfectly fine. That basically creates a range now. Yeah, in this case, it will keep on asking the user to provide the password. Right?
It only asks 5 times until we get it correct.
Correct, yes. Otherwise, it will break. Yes. So, this is basically looking for the password. I mean, checking the password.
Yes. Technically, sir, isn't that what a computer and a phone do?
Yes and no, because now, yeah, we do use certain patterns, but we don't actually put them on a for loop. So you do not have to put them on a for loop, because the thing is now, in a computer program, yes, you need to put that on a for loop. But when it comes to a web application or a phone app, usually what we do is, when we take the password, we send the password to a validation entity, so to another page basically. So from that page, if the password is incorrect, we can send them back to the login screen. Got the idea?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so it's like this. So in a web app, what we call is, we call it a request. So when you submit something, we send a request to another page, and in that page we can validate and get the details back. In mobile apps, we do have something called panels. So I can show you how. So we do have something known as views. So views are the area which will allow you to build the application on. See, so this is the area which your application will be based on. So when you submit something, what will happen is it will send the user to another page. This is React Native. React Native is the JavaScript based version of React, which was developed by these guys, um, our Facebook heroes. Okay, Meta people. See, now you do have the block, this view like this. So then what happens is, when you submit, you will be taken to another view, a different view, and then there we validate, and if the validation is not done or fails, then we send the user back to the registration page. So we do not need to have a for loop to loop through. So just to give you guys a simple idea how it works. Okay, perfect. So this
Yes.
looping is also clear. So it's basically to go through the loop and see how it works. Then um, no, let's jump in. Then we can actually we have the option of finding a specific character. So we already did this part where we talked about getting the string and adding this particular indexes, right? So just to cover this up, let's do a little bit of a complex thing that sees no, make it. Yeah, that's there as well. So hold on, let's think I covered up all these small points. Okay, so let's try out, let's get this again. uh, String indexes and conversions. Okay, so let's see how it works. Now let's get the same string. Hello world, welcome to the world of Python. Okay, now the index is get a character based on an index, on an index. So if we do something like this, let me print story. So let's say if we want to get the first character, we can actually call it as 0, right? So then if we run it, we can get the character. Okay, so then I'll run another one, get a range of characters based on based on based on a range index. Okay, so then how it works is, if we want to take the range of characters from starting from 0 to 4, then if we run this, you can see we get HELL. So if we take 5, then we get 5 characters. Okay, so I showed you guys this while we were talking about strings before. And then at the same time, we do have some string manipulation functions as well. So why do we need this? It's basically to let's say, 1 second. Yeah, so string low and yeah, so let's say if we get a string with all upper cases. Okay, So we need to convert it into lowercase. So let's try this out. Convert the entire string to lowercase. So if that's the case, we can use the lower method, and if we want to convert the entire string to uppercase, we can use the upper method, right? Simple, it's just dot lower or dot upper. See, now when you run this, so if you run the lowercase method, all the string would be converted into simple characters, and if you use the uppercase method, all characters would be converted into capital letters. Okay, so convert the entire string to either upper or lowercase. So then after that we do have a so those are simple string, we call them as string manipulation functions. Okay, so they basically allow you to meddle around with to change the string structure. Then we have another method of adding searching for something. Okay, so let's see how it works. So we have few ways of doing this. Okay, so if you want to search for something, we can actually do two versions. So one is we can use the find method. Okay, and the other one is we can do something like this. We can create a another variable. Okay, so let's say if we do this thing present. Okay, and we can check with this first keyword. So here we check put in string. Okay, so let's say word in string. Okay, if we do something like this, then this would hold on okay, if I run this, see, now you can see. So here so these are two different methods of searching. Okay, so the first one is we search if word is in the story. Okay, so this particular world is in the story. So story is the string we have, right? So just to make it easier, I'll change this to string. Okay, so yeah, so we are checking if the word keyword, this particular, is in the string, right? And here the find method gives a different approach. So the find method is actually giving you a location where the world value is existing. So see, now we have, can you guys note that we had a problem here? So the issue is now here this guy, since we have two worlds in it, right? This guy is actually making a little bit of a problem because he only finds the last character. Okay, let me change this to Python, and if I run this, you guys can say we have the location of that particular key. Okay, so the location of the key is on the 27th index, and then we get the location active. So remember, these are two different ways of searching. One is to check if the value is there in the string, and the second is to check the index of that particular value. So when I run this, it gives me 37, which is where the Python character starts. Okay, is it clear? Can you try this out? පුළුවන් ද try කරලා බලන්න පොඩ්ඩක්. Hari, shall I continue? All good? Do you need more time?
Give me a second, sir.
Hari, okay. Take your time. You can try it out and see.
Done, sir.
Nice. Okay. Did you try to change the search key and see how it works?
No.
No, I mean, like without doing the same example I did, just try changing the key also. I mean,
Means the
this.
string.
Yes, yeah. So search for something else, like without Python, search for, let's say, welcome. All good?
I got 37 false.
37 false. Uh, show me the code.
Can I show the screen?
Yes, please. Okay.
Sir, do you got it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Okay, so this present. So we'll look at the thing is, this present is actually looking for the exact word. So now in your code you can't actually use it like that. So you can and remove the space as well. Space in the end after ea anna hari. Yes. Okat hari. Then run කරනවා. Hari, you got it true.
47 true.
Yes, because the thing is, it always checks for the exact word. ඒකේ බලන්න inside the string කියලානේ කියන්නේ. So it checks if the value is in the string. So it has to be exactly present. Hi, that's why I asked you to change and see. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I did some ChatGPT storylines in the
Mona-
past few days.
මොනවද කරේ? Show me. Stories. Okay.
Yeah. And the fonts for Leonardo AI and for get some pictures on it on this.
Are you create the AI prompt?
Sir, I got 37 true.
That is not true. Perfect. Okay. That's great.
I gave this font for AI, ChatGPT. Then they created a story, and I gave this font. Task create AI image fonts for YouTube short. Then they
Okay.
gave me the prompt 1, prompt 2, prompt 1,
Okay.
prompt 2,
Did you generate something through it?
like this. Not yet, sir.
हाँ मैं मैंने make a try कर लो बात. Give me one second. Send you a link. Try that out. I sent it on. Yeah. Okay. Make a try कर लो बात. मैं make it. That's the new Google platform. How is it? Does it work?
Give me a second, sir. I have to log in. Sign in with.
मेरे को पता ही है मेरे बार
That is good.
yeah it's a bit
Okay, I'll check it.
yeah I'm
Well,
not
it's good for making memes.
yeah right? It has some features the ratio is also there so you can create a landscape with the
It is free.
it is මං හැබැයි හරියට දන්නේ මේ seeds කතාව I think seeds are the ones which will be used to
Seeds also in Leonardo AI also they have it.
they have seeds okay so
Yeah.
seeds are the ones which will basically burn out
It is a
right?
limited edition one.
That's the thing after that I think you'll have to buy the seeds then
No, day by day. It is.
it gets refreshed
Right.
every day
Yes. In
okay.
Leonardo they gave us 150 seeds
Okay
for a day, one day.
okay so how many images can you generate through it
It depends on the size, the quality. In the normal quality, we can make 14, 16, 17, like 16 images.
okay we can so in this case
No.
what 16 images
24 like nice.
Madam, I added two conditions as abstract and 35 millimeter film.
I
wo-
got this. Can I show it?
Yeah, you can share your screen. Haha, day, that's good.
This is the good.
That's good, right?
I created all by AI.
Yeah.
This is the font that I created on Leonardo AI. Sorry, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Okay.
I put it on there.
Try one, so you have.
We can download it.
You can download. You can just download it. You get lots and lots of options.
I put this. When I was put this under there and created it.
Do you have the one you generated through Leonardo?
No, sir. I didn't do it yet. I have account on my Leonardo AI.
Okay.
I created some images.
Okay. मैं ताम लोड डाले. Okay, let's just quickly finish this up, man. Poddai teen tha eto koti vera me atani. Hari, so still it's loading. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I will show it the loading.
Yeah, yes. Load නම් පෙන්නන්න මට මේ Leonardo එකේ generate වෙච්ච එකත් නිකන් බලමු. We'll do a comparison and see.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Nice. So perfect. So we have few more things to talk about strings. So now the next part is string, which is known as string concatenation. Okay, concatenation. So the idea behind concatenation is we basically join two or more strings together, right? So that's how you connect the strings into a single, like multiple strings into a single part. So let's see how we can do it. String concatenation, okay, concatenation, okay. Then let's see how it works. So let's create three strings. Name, let's say Vipula, age, and city. We will call it the Hivala. Okay. Now when we want to print this, we can actually say name plus age plus city. Okay. So let's run this and see how it works. Yes, we do have a problem because here you guys can see that this is a number. Okay, I purposefully did this just to show you guys the error, because always remember when you're concatenating something.
Sir,
Yes, shoot.
how to check the file size on that image FX?
You mean the resolution? I mean the image size.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Or we can download it and go to properties and
We'll have to
see
download and see, man. Download and see. So let me download this one. Okay, it's getting downloaded, and it's about 1.5 megabytes. Adi.
No, I am asking about the size of it.
The resolution.
Like
Image size.
resolution. Yeah, resolution.
Image size is now here I selected the best quality image, and I selected the best quality image. Let's see the size of the image which was generated. Let's go to the details. Yeah, the size is pretty large. It's 1480 by 768. So it's good.
How to check it?
Can you
Can
share?
you put it in chat?
No. Can you show me your
The
screen?
file size.
Can you show me your screen? Can you just do a quick share? I'll show you how to do that. It's like totally different in Windows.
I got my desktop.
Okay, so yeah, where is the image, the downloaded image? No, I think you shared only your Google Chrome. Man. You have to share the entire screen.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry. This is the image.
Still loading. Nice. Okay. Perfect.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got the size.
Yes, it's there.
Is this the size?
Yeah, that's the size. Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
In Leonardo, we have to put the size also. That's why I asked.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't tried Leonardo AI. Let's see. No, I have tried. No. Leonardo AI, I have tried. Leonardo AI is actually much powerful than this.
I put the link.
Yeah, I'm just on the page.
Okay.
Yeah, Leonardo is actually quite more power. This is what you said, right? To 150 credits. Got it, got it, got it. Ah, yes, 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 yes. So
Yeah.
that's the maximum. But in Leonardo, you can see on the side, me here you have the resolution selection, so you can't.
This is the difference.
Yeah, the large images you don't get the details, no. And but here you have presets. That's the fun part. You have different presets, and you have the prompt enhancing parts. Like example is like when you tell a prompt, Leonardo AI or automatically enhances the prompt as well. So it understands it and it changes the prompt again. Okay. So in the legacy mode, we had some features. Huh? In the old version, maybe
This
just
is the difference.
co. Did you share something?
Yeah. Can you see it, sir?
Ah, yes. Okay. Which one is Leonardo? The one in the left side, ne? දකුණු පැත්තකනේ.
Yes, sir.
එක ටිකක්.
No. One in the left is the
නෑ sorry වම් පැත්තක left එකනේ Leonardo නේ.
Leonardo AI, one in the right.
Okay. There's a massive difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Leonardo AI one looks more cartoonish, right?
Now they are having more. We have so much effects.
Effects are there. That's true.
Relax. Pixel mode.
Pixel art and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we have a lot of things.
Yes. Need to try it out sometime and see. They do have motion also, no? But that is expensive in a way, no? There's a feature called photoreal also.
What?
Yeah, you just photoreal.
Yeah.
That is like extremely realistic images, no?
This is the cost.
Yeah, I know.
$10 a month, 24.48.
Yes. Yeah. But you can't generate a lot with that number of credits.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But then again,
when we put the legacy mode,
legacy
mode. Legacy mode, it is quite a bit expensive. But we off it.
No, the legacy mode is cheaper. Legacy කියන්නේ පරණ කියන එක.
Yeah.
ඔව්. legacy කියන්නේ පරණ කියන එක. එතකොට කලින් තිබ්බ mode එක.
But when we have generated this, it is quite good without the legacy mode. They are generating all the things.
Yeah, they generate like multiple different options, no?
Yeah.
ඒක හොඳයි. මොනවද generate කරලා තියෙන්නේ?
My mom wanted something like a girl wearing a shirt and something. I generated it and gave it to her.
Okay.
I don't know why he said that.
These pictures are extremely good, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Hari, okay, shall we jump back to this?
Okay.
Okay, so I was showing you this example where the concatenation part. So concatenating a string. So let's talk about the AI after this is done, because we just have another 2 more units to cover up. Then the second unit would be done. That's why. Okay, so like as we added numbers together, we can concatenate strings as well. I mean add strings together, right? So the adding operator is the same, which is the plus sign, right? Plus එකක් ගහන එක තමයි කරන්නේ. හැබැයි there is a problem. Now in this error, which you guys can see right now, the issue is this is throwing an error saying the age cannot be added into the main string, right? That is because the age is a number, right? So if I pass this age as a string with the double quotes, and if I run this, now you can see everything gets added together. Right? So keep in mind, මතක තියාගන්න strings සුයි numbers සුයි add කරන්න බෑ. Add කරනවා නම් you have to convert it into a string. Okay? So that's the typical way we basically connect strings together. But if by any chance, if we had to go with this previous example, හිතමු මෙහෙම number එකක් add කරන්න ඕන කියලා. Then we have done this before when we added when we had the issue with the input where we had to cast it into integers, right? Because the input is taken as string. Now here we can actually use the str method and we can convert the integer to an str into a string. Okay, so that's how you concatenate strings together. Now in this case we can do something like this, since we need to space it out now. If we space it out like this and press enter, now you can see we have a nice string altogether. Okay, so that is how you concatenate a string. I know you guys tried this out multiple times, so and I showed you guys a few different ways of concatenating strings as well, like by adding the dollar signs, the curly brackets. Okay, let me show you guys all the options. So in your syllabus we only talk about this into a certain extent, but when it comes to the printing of strings, we do have different options as well, where we can actually use string. Hold on, we don't talk about this thing now. Nah, come on. So that is about printing a string. So let's not get into that extent. So yeah, I hope the idea is clear. Then now we jump in. So yeah, one more thing. Yeah, we talked about the string substring as well. So we talked about searching, we talked about concatenation, and we talked about how to concatenate if it is an integer. Then we talked about how to convert it into string and how to add it into the main string itself, right? So I hope that idea is clear. Now we jump into data structures. Okay, so data structures have a bit of a different aspect of different way for you to get your mind into. Okay, now we already went through a couple of examples about arrays, right? So if we go up, you guys can see that when we were talking about the loops, we went through arrays and I showed you guys how the arrays are created, as well as we talked about dictionaries, right? So we saw how a data dictionary can be created using the curly brackets, right? And then we went through multiple levels of data dictionaries as well. We went through, so this is basically a two-dimensional dictionary, right? So we have the Toyota instance, and inside the Toyota instance we have an array, and inside the array we do have another set of instances which will be another set of data dictionaries. So I hope you remember what we did. We went through this a couple of times where we talked about what type of arrays are there, right? So we appended values to it, we inserted new values, we removed values, and we popped values, right? So we manipulated the array multiple times. If you missed that video, you can actually go back and refer to that video as well, where we went through it in depth. So here we are following the same set of items. So I'm just going to go through the list so that it's easy to understand. So yeah, so we have the so this is the append function. I'm not going to go through this again, guys, because we already covered this up. So I'll just quickly skim through it, and we'll just
Sir,
yeah.
do
Yes.
you know any audio app for story like things?
Audio apps. What type of
Yeah.
audio apps?
Like I am trying to give a script and I want to
I want to generate audio.
yeah, like this script.
I do know a few. Daham, do you know anything? Any AI sites to generate?
To generate images.
To generate
No,
audio? I mean, sorry, what do you call this? Narration. You want a AI narrator, right?
Sorry, sir, I don't know him.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you can search up on YouTube and it will come like this.
You can set up what?
You can search up on YouTube and it will just give a list.
Yes.
On a video.
I have used these two. I have used these two items. Murph AI. So Murph is, I think I showed you Murph that day also. So Murph AI is one thing where you can basically give the prompt. Yeah, okay. Try Gen 2. Okay. Second generation. So Murph AI works. I think they have upgraded the whole thing. Huh? I have
Can
tried
you
this.
send the link for that, sir?
Yeah, sure thing. Hold on. It's Murph AI. Murph AI is actually quite good. You can actually type something here, and after that, you just need to select the voice. See?
Diana Hardy once wrote, "It only takes one voice at the right pitch to start an avalanche." We all have something to share with the world.
Go fast. Go far.
You can add the pitch, you can add pauses.
Welcome to our comprehensive e-learning course.
Make a me lazy na
Hi,
ya.
I'm Ava, the most versatile American voice in Murph. I can do
But
voice.
sir, I generate a AI script from ChatGPT.
Yeah, that is fine. But the thing is, when you add it here, you have to
set
add
the pitch.
Yes, exactly. You have to set the pitch. You have to set the what do you call it? The speed and mainly the pauses. I think කතා කරනකොට pause කරනවානේ මැදි.
Yeah.
අන්න ඒ ටික you have to manually add. That's one. So I have tried this one and have tried this also. This is also good. 11 labs. link.
What is easier?
11 labs is easier though. 11 labs නිකම් මෙතන paste කරා and you press you can just run it. But
The 11 Labs voice generator can deliver high-quality, human-like speech in 32 languages. Perfect for audiobooks, video voiceovers, commercials, and more.
So 11 Labs is actually quite straightforward. Murph AI gives you a lot of features.
Yeah.
And try this one now also, play.ht.
Yeah, I tried it.
play.ht, yeah, okay. This is much more similar to like an agent system, but check the free tier. ඔය ඕක මෙහෙම කරන්න. ඕක ලේසි වැඩේ තියෙන්නේ. මේ since most of these platforms they don't allow you to download. So what we can do is we can use this application or Audacity. Cool. Use this software Audacity එක use කරලා use Audacity, then turn on the recording and record the audio, because most of the time they don't let you download.
Can you send the Audacity?
Audacity, I just sent it in the
Okay.
chat also. So it doesn't let you download it, that's why.
We have to pay to download it.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, the entire module for the data structures, we already went through this and we did it. Okay, so that is part of the data structures which you can see here. So we went through the data models. We literally intensively we went through the features of this, and I taught you guys something a little bit extra about the dictionaries as well. Okay, so because of that reason, I'm going to completely jump to the next part since we covered this up. But please do go through this and practice, because there are some questions which you can actually do really fast and see how it works. Okay, then we jump into inputs and outputs. So inputs and outputs, again, these are the basic points of IO. So let's see how it works. Now when we are checking the input, so there are a few points which we need to make sure that how the data is validated. Okay, so there are let's say, okay, so let's start from here. Okay, now when you're getting data into a system, there are few validations which you need to perform in order to make sure the data is correct. Okay, so usually the primary point we have is we always need to check if the data range is correct. Okay, so what do you think is range is?
The gap.
Gap එකත් හරි, gap එකක් තියෙනවා range කියන්නේ. එහෙම නෙමෙයි. මෙහෙම හිතන්න. Think about this in a different way. So let's say if we are okay, so let's take this password example. Right? So if we take the password example, it has to be a specific set of strings or characters within a specific range, right? So let's say password needs to contain 10 characters. Then the range is technically 10, right? So let's say we want to ask the user to enter a number which is between let's say 10 to 20 characters, right? If that's the case, then the range validation has to be done at that certain point, right? So we do have few different methods of range validations. So primarily validation would be, let's say if we have a number validation, let's say we ask the user to enter a number between 1 to, let's say, 10. So if that's the case, then a range validation has to be executed, so just to check if the number range is correct, right? And then at the same time, we do need to make sure that the user has entered a number as well. See, now in this example, you can see we check, so this is basically a simple pseudo code. So here you can see we first keep a boolean valid field, right? So we make sure the boolean value is active, and then we set the validation number to false, right? So by default we keep this variable as false, right? Then we loop through this until this is basically false. So here now then we ask for the user to provide an input and display, and after receiving the keyboard interaction we check if the number is greater than or equals to 1 and number is less than or equals to 10. So that means it should be either 1 or more than 1 and either 10 or less than 10. Okay, then we set the value to true. If it is not, then again, since this is a while loop which loops until the value is false, that means this is going to keep on looping until you provide a valid number. Okay, so this will never end in that case. So it's very important because we need to make sure that whatever the range which we need is validated. Okay, so then we have another check called the presence check. Presence check. What do you think is a presence check? මොකක්ද presence check එකක් කියලා හිතන්න? Any suggestions? Okay, so a presence check is basically a method of validating if a user has entered some sort of a value. Okay, so that means example is this will, so if you look at this example, this below example, here username is set to empty. Okay, so here, so we have the set user which is set to empty, and then again අපි දානවා loop එකක්. We go on to a while loop. So this is what Daham asked me. So when it comes to applications, yes, so now if we build something like a JavaScript application, then we can immediately validate. No, JavaScript is running on your browser itself. No? So because of that reason, you can immediately keep on validating the content and just like that do it, right? But here in this case it's something different. Now here you don't need to keep on immediately validating this. You will, sorry, now in Windows applications or desktop applications, there is no way for you to validate it then and there. So what we have to do is we have to send it into a loop. So that means since we are running that in a loop, we have to make sure that we keep a never-ending loop to check if the value is present. So here we set the value as empty, and then we take the value, and until the value is empty, we keep on this loop active. So that
Then
means
you can try it on CapCut also, voice.
voice වැඩේද?
Yes.
කොහොමද කරන්නේ? CapCut එකෙත් පුළුවන් නේද?
Sir, I think it's better to use Audacity to like edit your own voice. Better to do that.
Yeah, CapCut එකේ I don't think we have voice generation. තියෙනවද?
Sir, we don't.
We don't, no? No.
I use CapCut all the time.
Yeah, CapCut doesn't have the voice generator, Vinloga. You need to generate the voice from outside, and then yeah, you have to generate it from outside and then put it into CapCut or Audacity. I think better to use Audacity to like cut and chop and paste the pieces you want to fix, and then you can put it into CapCut as the final output. So to generate the final video, as I said, I'm using Wondershare, this Filmora. So Filmora is similar to CapCut, but it's a bit more powerful because it's it's a full end video editing tool. So CapCut is something like a quick tool, no, where you can just generate a video and push it out. So both are the same though. So you get the timelines and you can cut and chop things and sort it out. But yes, you will have to generate the audio clip from outside. Okay, make it the point presence check. So we keep on looping until we make sure the data is present. All good? Hari? Shall I jump to the next one?
That we can generate the sounds in 11th lab. 11th lab. IIET. I will send the link.
Yes, you can generate it through that as well. 11 lab ke mom da apeka neda?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Balo, try kalo balo. Okay. So yeah, that's about the presence check. Harry, then we talk about the other point called lookup check. Okay. So lookup, then api balua isalla range එක හරිද කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ data set එකක range එක, right? First we check if the range is correct, where the user is restricted to add the data into a specific range, right? Then we checked for the presence check. Presence check means whether the data is added. So we can use the data ටික දීලාද. Please enter your name keyword. We check if the name is actually entered, right? Until the name is not entered, we keep on forcing the user to enter the name, right? Now we fall into the third type of validations, which is known as lookup checks. Okay, so lookup check, how it works is, lookup check will basically go through a certain set of fixed values. Okay, and then we will find out whether these values are present in the data set which we have received. So example is, now here you can see, this will take a certain set of valid names. See, so this is an array, right? So in this array, we have a set of valid names defined, right? So from this particular set of names, then what we do is we take the input of the user and we have a while loop again, where we check if one of these values are correct. So if you enter a value which is outside this range of defined values, then it's not going to let you go through, right? So this lookup check is something similar to what we do with passwords, right? So we have the password saved in our database, and what we do is we ask the user to enter the password, and when the user enters the password, we check with whatever the data which we have in our system, right? So we do a cross check, a lookup, and then if the password is incorrect, if the details which has been provided by the user is incorrect, then we say it's invalid and we kick the user out, and we ask him to add the password back again. Or if that data is present in our defined data set, then we easily get the user in. We say welcome and you can continue, right? So that's the way for lookup checks. Okay, so remember the points, because we obviously, when we are building an application, these specific points, presence, range, lookup, these specific points are very important, because we need to make sure that the validations are added accordingly, right? Then finally we have the length check. Okay, so the length check is, now earlier at the beginning we talked about the range check, right? So the range check, what we checked was whether the data range is correct. So if we are asking the user to provide a value between two values, let's say 1 and 10, then we checked if the value falls under the 1 and 10 range. Here this is something else. This is the length check. So this is what we just did few minutes earlier, where we checked the password for the length to make sure the password has 6 characters. Okay, so just to explain you guys the structure. So we basically, now this is a postal code, right? So we get the postal code, and we get it from the keyboard, right? So this is pseudocode. Huh? So we take the keyboard, we take the postal code input from the keyboard, and we save it into the variable called postcode. Okay, and then we set the length of the postcode, right? We basically get the length. We have the postcode, so we use the length function to get the length of the postcode, and we use the set to create a variable, and we allocate the length, whatever the length which comes from the postal code into the length, right? So when it comes to postal code, guys, codes, there are different countries have different postal codes, obviously, right? And then based on the countries, based on the countries, the length of the postal code differs. Now in Sri Lanka, we do have a postal code 5 characters. Okay, so starting from, I think, so the Vipula postal code is 10350. Yeah, 10,350. Yeah, 10350. That's the Vipula postal code, something like that. So each and every location wherever you live in Sri Lanka, there is a specific postal code for that. So then, since it is 5 characters, we will have to make sure that if we are getting the postal code from the user, let's say we ask them to do a form submission, and if the form submission, or when the form submission is done, or at the point of creating the form submission, we have to make sure that we check for the postal code length, because if they add a postal code without a character, then it's going to be a problem, right? So in this example, we have the length set as 6, right? So that means we check if the length is greater than 6 and less than 8. Okay, so this is not a range, but this is checking the length. Okay, range means දෙකක් මැද්ද තියනවාද කියන එක. Length කියන්නේ string එකේ දිග. හරි. So if the length is correct, then we basically give a message valid, or if it is not correct, if it is either less than 6 or greater than 8, then obviously it's going to send a message saying it's invalid to the display, and the user will not be able to continue. Okay, so when it comes to validations, now we talked about all these rules which we are going to use, or which we will be using on day-to-day basis to make sure that the data is correct, right? So the idea behind this is, guys, whenever we are collecting data, now we talked about data a lot, right? So data, to convert it into some information, the data has to be correct, right? So data and information, the difference between these two is basically, in order to create a big picture, you need a lot of data points. Now the problem is, if the data is incorrect, then it's going to be a big issue, because your final output, your final information output would result in multiple errors, right? Example, අපි ගමු දහම්ගේ address එක ගත්තොත්, if he, so දහම්ගේ ගෙදර address එක ගන්නවා දැන්, let's say we give a form to දහම් to fill in, and he makes an error in the postal code, or let's say address or phone number comes. So let's take the phone number. This phone number must contain 10 digits, right? So he makes a mistake in the phone number. What happens? That means his entire profile is going to get into a problem, will return issues, because that information is not correct. And when we want to contact him, we won't be able to do that, because again, his phone number is incorrect, right? So now when you're building massive systems, these data integrity is very important because when we gather the data, we need to 100% make sure the user provides the actual information. And one last point, always remember, people are not tech savvy. Okay, people are not tech savvy means අපි බෞද්ධරයක් හැටියට ගත්තොත් ගොඩක් මිනිස්සු ලංකාවේ ජීවත් වෙන මිනිස්සුන්ට මේ ලොකුවට කම්පියුටර්ස් පාවිච්චි කරන සෙනඟ අඩුයි, right? Phones use කරනවා, but mainly they use that for Facebook and all the social media and check phone calls, emails, and that's it. No, but interactions with applications in any country, apart from all these very, let's say, first world countries, most of the about 90% of the countries, still the population is very backward when it comes to technology. So that means they know how to do it. I mean, I'm not saying they don't know how to do it. They know, but the thing is, they tend to make mistakes. Okay, so because of that reason, we need to be extremely careful when we are getting the data from him. So when it comes to a form, registration form, we have to be extremely to the point, make sure that the data we collect is correct. Right? So that's why we use all these type of testing and validation methods to make sure the data, what we capture, is intact.
Sir,
Yes, shoot.
we can download the thing
You
in,
can download in what?
11 lab. The 11 lab, we give a prompt and choose a voice, and we can download it.
Okay, may arake correct word is prompt. Okay, so that starts with prompt. We create a prompt. So you said that we can give the prompt and you can download it, is it? May I think
Can
there
I
is
show
a
the screen?
yeah, sure, show it to me. There is a length validation. Sorry, there is a maximum duration, I think.
We are having credits.
You have credits.
Yeah. 8,157 credits remaining.
Hari, what's the length maximum you can generate?
5,000.
5,000 minutes remaining?
No.
Should be 5,000 characters, is it?
Letters.
That's the thing.
Characters.
5,000 characters. That's the thing. Not 5,000 words. 5,000 words kya nama katawa record karna pula hoge. 5,000 characters. So that means a short. That means a normal, like a 10-minute.
Like
A 5-minute recording.
yeah.
Oh, about shape
This is
ne.
the result.
Cool. Can you? No, yeah. We can't hear that, man. No, we can't hear it.
Why is that, sir?
Check what's I play about. Go back. No. You can hear it, is it?
Yeah.
That's why I'm planting
Okay.
it now.
Yeah. Now we can hear it.
Because of
The tree bent, nearly broke, but stood
because
firm.
of my
One summer, I walked by and saw him
my
sitting
headset.
beneath its shade,
Headset. Okay.
reading. I realized then, progress isn't always quick, and rewards don't come instantly. But patience, like roots, runs deep. The best things in life take time.
ඒක මොකයි?
We can download that.
Okay.
I once saw a man planting a tiny tree in his yard.
So, were you able to download the entire, the entire prompt?
It'll take years to grow, I said.
We can.
Why? Years passed.
Yeah.
Storms came and things changed. The tree bent, nearly broke, but stood firm. One reading. I realized then, progress isn't always quick, and rewards don't come instantly. But patience in life take time.
We can adjust the speed and download it.
Hadi. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Try out Murph AI as well. Try to just see
Okay,
what
sir.
are the options you have. Okay, perfect. So, so we have one more point to cover up. Validations. Okay. So, we do test systems with primarily two different types of validations. Okay. So, give me 1 second. I'll make a bottom. Yeah. Then. Yeah, let's cover this up fast. Okay, so when it comes to systems, we do have two different primary validations. Okay, so what we do validate is we look for the data type and the normal data validation. We call it the normal data validation. Okay, so normal data validation is, as we discussed, these are like to make sure that the limits, the data is within the limits of whatever which should be accepted. Okay, so example is if it is a password, we just need to make sure it has a certain number of characters, right? If the number of characters exceeds, then the password must show some sort of an error, and it should let's say not let the user go through it, right? Then the second option is we do have the boundary data validation. So as we discussed before, boundary data validation means there has to be a maximum value and a lowest value, right? Example is, let's say if we take a let's say අපි හදනවා කියලා a profile building system so that we can add a school management system where we can create profiles for individual students, right? Okay, so then the boundary normal data validation would be to make sure that their email addresses are correct, right, as well as their password is correct, and their address, their phone numbers, and emails, postal codes and whatnot, all the main normal data is correct, right? So we can do that normal data validation to handle that part. And then the boundary data validation, this one, would be to make sure that a certain set of numbers are within a specific range. So example is like, if it is a student management system, obviously, if it is for a school, then obviously we do need one particular validation, like one primary validation, which is your age range, right? So if it is a school and you are getting into the school as a student, then that means there has to be, or there must be, a certain age validation to make sure that you are exactly the age where you should attend the school, right? So when you are registering in the system, if you add your age as, let's say, 45 plus or 35, then obviously it should not basically give you that feature even, right? Now, if it is a school management system, the maximum age you should be able to enter is 18 or let's say 19. Okay. Anyway, the value should be less than 20, right? And at the same time, the value should not go less than 4, right? අවුරුදු දෙකේ ළමෙක්ව ඉස්කෝලට ගන්න නැහැනේ, right? So a school management system should not allow you to add a 2-year-old child, right? So likewise, these boundary data validations, they will make sure that we have a particular limit, so that this outer limit of what should be accepted by the program. So example is example is the one which I just said. So if the student's age is more than or less than a certain amount, then you are not supposed to let the user in, right? Okay, so those two are the normal and the boundary data validations. Then we do have one more point, which is known as anonymous data. Okay, so anonymous data is basically something which is similar to a data set which this program should not accept. Okay, so example is where value 0 should not be accepted by either of the validation rules given above. Okay, so I'll give you guys a much more simple example. Then hitanna age validation එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. So for the age validation බිඳුව දාන්න බෑනේ. Right? So for the age field, it should start from, let's say if it is a profile management system, then it should start from 1, right? And at the same time, age field එකේ යන්න පුළුවන් limit එකකුත් තියෙනවානේ. දැන් බිඳුව දාන්න බෑ කොහොමද? 100 දාන්නත් බැරි වෙන්න ඕනේ. නැත්නම් 100 දැම්ම කියමුකෝ. Let's say 150, you should not be able to go forward with 150, right? So that is part of the boundary validation. Plus, when it comes to anonymous data, that validation has to be there. So the 0 should not be accepted by the system. At the same time, think about this in a different, if you take the same anonymous data concept and apply it to a different data point. Let's say we are creating a form to enter the user's email address and let's say email address, then there also has to be a validation, because if it is an email address you're looking for, then the data which is being added must be an email address. So in order for us to make sure that it is an email address, we do have few points which we can check. Number one is we need to check the @ sign, right? So if the string does not contain an @ sign, then that's going to be a problem. Right? Then api kara example එකක්. We did a string search example, right? So then that means you guys know, using the search feature, we can find out if the email address contains an @ sign. So if the @ sign is there, then yes, that can be an email address. If the @ sign is not there, then we can take that as anonymous data. Right? So likewise, there are different ways of validating the content. Okay, so I hope you guys got the idea. Any questions? Daham and Minlaka, both all good?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Then let's jump back into the code, and let me switch the camera. Okay, so let's jump back to this, and let's see how we can now we jump into the point where we start to work with files. Okay, so let's see how we can work with files. Now in Python we have some cool features where we can actually open a file. Okay, and so files are always very important to be read, because files are used to store data, right? So since we use the file to basically store a certain set of data points, what we do is we will basically keep it in a file, and then we can read, write and add data to a file using the Python system. So let me show you how to do this in Google Colab. So if you have Python installed on your machine, then it's quite straightforward. You just create a file called names.txt inside the same folder where you run this script in, and then you can access that file from there itself. Okay. Otherwise, if you are using Google Colab, then we need to go through a little bit of a workaround. Okay. So in Google Colab, you have this file browser here, and in this file browser, you can, when you click on it, it will actually show you some information in it. Okay, so you might see it or you might not see it. It's perfectly fine if you don't see it. Still, this is the folder which is being connected or shared with your code base. Okay, so it's quite straightforward to create a file. All you need to do is you right click, you click on new file, and then you create a file called file with the name. Now in this case, I'm following the same example which we have in the book, which is having a file called names.txt, which is, as you guys know, txt is the extension for a text file, right? So we open the file as name.txt, and then we can create the file. Okay, so just like that, now I created the file. So you click on this, and you can double click on it, and you can actually open the file and see. Okay, so for the names, I'm just going to add some names just for the start. Okay, so I just added few names, and you can save it by just pressing Ctrl S. You can save the file. Otherwise, you can just save it like that. Okay, now I have saved the file. Now the file is inside my directory, which is called as names.txt, and now we can play around with this and see. Okay, so I'll keep the file, I'll close the file as well, and let's write some code to see how it works. So starting off with, we need to basically read the file and see what is there in the file and how we can open it. Okay, so let's try it out. So let's open the file using the open method. Okay, so when we use the open method, we need to pass in the file name first, and then the second parameter, the second argument, we can say either parameter or argument, which is being passed into the function, is known as a flag. Okay, so here you can see I'm using the flag called R. So when we use the R flag, as the character implies, it's read, right? So we basically tell the open function to read the file and print the file, read the file, and then when you read the file, this is this particular variable. Okay, now just don't get confused with the terms, but I'm going to tell you the terms anyway, because you have to keep this in mind. Okay, so when we read this will create something known as a file pointer. Okay, a file pointer is basically a data pointer which you can access through a loop. Okay, in simple terms. Now here what I'm doing is I'm opening this as file, and I'm looping, I'm sending this into the for method, the for loop, saying to loop through all the names inside the file. Okay, and then what I do is I run the code, and just like that, I'm able to print it out. Okay. So, before we jump to the next one, can you guys do this? Both of you. Binlaka, can you try?
Sir, can you please show the textbook?
Yeah. The textbook. Hold on. Yes. You have the textbook with you, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
it's in my school bag.
Ah, do you have the soft copy? Shall I send you the soft copy of this?
Sir, I do not have the soft copy.
Ayyo, you should have asked me. Let me send it. You are in the WhatsApp group, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I sent it few minutes ago. Hold on. Sorry, I sent it last week. No. Okay, Omin Maida. Check the WhatsApp group. You should be able to find it.
Okay, sir, wait, sir.
Laka, found it. Binlaka, you saw how I created the file, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. නිකම් ෆයිල් එකක් හදන්න, add some lines of code, and then shall I jump back to this and then try to print it
Sir, I
out?
found it.
Okay, perfect. So I change the screen to the code. How did it? Were you able to print it? Let me know if you crash into any issues. How is it? Did it work? You need more time?
Yes, sir.
We'll look at, did it work?
No, sir.
Makadune, show me this thing. Cool.
So what is the page?
Page is, give me 1 second. It's page number 82. Hari. Okay, let's check.
Thank you, sir.
You can, okay, Hari. Binlu can remove the gap there as well. Hari, nice. Okay, now run the code. Hari, okay. Open. So file එක හදලා නැහැනේ. So click on the file icon, left hand side menu last icon. නෑ උතර නෙමෙයි. අර file icon එක වම් පැත්තේ වම්
Okay, sir.
ඔයා මේ file browser එක තියෙන්නේ වම් පැත්තේ. නෑනේ උතර නෙමෙයි. හෝ. නෑ ඔය මොකද type කරන්නේ? අතන වම් පැත්තේ තියෙන්නේ මේකක් icon එකක්. මෙන්න මේක බලන්න. මෙතන මේ. Look at my video. Make click on files. Hurry. And then right click. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Hurry. Okay. So click on this thing.
Files. Okay.
Hurry. Now right click. Hurry. Now new file.
Okay.
Okay. No. Can you yeah. Can you right click the file? Right click. Okay. Rename. And put the name as names.txt.
Right.
Simple. It has to be simple. txt. Nice. Okay. Now double click and open. Save unnae nama save unnae.
It's saved.
Hari. Okay. Now double click and open. Hari. Okay. Now add some names to it. Mono type karenge yaar. So this is my file. Okay, press enter. Nah, commands name. Enter. One line at a time.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
What run kalaba?
Sorry, sir.
After saving it, just run it and see.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Hari neda.
Okay.
Nice, I think perfect. Add couple of names more just to make it
Okay.
simple. How is it? Got it working?
Okay.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. Now, then I'll quickly jump to the next one as well. So I'm just going to, okay, I'll create another one. Okay, I'm using the same code, but now let's try editing something. Okay. So write a new name to the file text.txt and print all the content. Okay, so now how do we write something similar to the way we read the content? So we use the flag as write, W. Okay, but be careful now when you use the write command, W command or the W flag, what it does is it will open the file and it will try to write content into the file. Okay, but the thing is now if the file does not exist, then what it will do is it will create a new file. Okay, now example is let me show you this. So I'm just going to comment the for loop for the moment. Now I'll remove this. Okay, then let's say I'll create a file called cast.txt and we'll set the flag as W. Okay, now if you check my file browser here, we do not have a file called cast.txt now, but when I run this, see what happens. Okay, so it automatically ran. Now still the file does not appear. That is perfectly normal, don't get confused about that. Okay, after giving a couple of seconds you can see the file has been created. Okay, see now the file has been created, but if I open this I'm going to see an empty file, right? Now let's see how this writing happens. Now let me add a Toyota, BMW and Tesla. Okay, I added 3 names to it and saved it. Okay, but now if I again, so now if you open up the file, you can see that we do have the data in it, right? But see what happens when I click on the write again. So when I click on the write again, this would be updated. So you can actually click on this icon to refresh the data. Now if I open the cars again, you can see the file is empty, right? So the reason behind this is that when this command is executed, every time when this command is executed, that would automatically create a new file. Or if the file does exist in your folder, then it will empty the file. Okay, so let's write some data and see into this file. So let's put some data points. So let's write Toyota and let's see how it works. So I'm just writing only one word. Nah? So I'm going to write Toyota, and also remember when you open a file, okay, you always have to close it. Okay, so here I am opening the file to write, and when you write the file, you always must close it. Close means it's like this. So it's almost similar to opening a book and closing the book. So you have to open it, and after you open it, you have to close it. So let's see how it works. Now I'll run the code, and just like that it got saved, it got executed, right? Okay, so let's open up the file and see. So I'm going to the file browser and opening the file. Now perfect, we can see the file has been written. Right, so now let's add a little bit of more content to this. So let's say let's open this up file, right? So let's open cars and let's try to print this. So I'll add a couple of more.
In this thing, we have to create another file.
No, Vinlaga. So now when you run this command, if the file is not there, the file will automatically get created. You don't have to create it.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have to leave quickly today. I have live now, sir.
Okay, perfect. Can you try this out? I will be doing one more thing. Ekat, when you can refer to the video and try it out.
No,
Okay?
I can stay like 4 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Let me quickly show that as well. So this is the writing part, okay? And the next one is about appending. So appending is the same method, okay? So I'm going to use the same method, but appending, what it does is it will append content to the end. Okay, let me add the same code. Okay, append a new name to the file names and print all the content. Okay, let's try this out quickly. I'll show you how it works. So appending is, what we do is we use the word a. Okay, so let me add name Kasun. Okay, and now if I open this up, now here you can see under names the last item we have is Deadpool, right? So now I'm going to run this. So when I run it, you can see now after Deadpool, Kasun has been added, right? So if let's close this and let's turn it on again. See, you can see Deadpool, Kasun, both the values are added. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how we basically add values, read and write values to a file.
So I have to go.
Yeah, sure thing.
Bye, sir.
No problem. I'll be wrapping this off as well. Yeah, so yes. So Daham, is it okay? Did you get the system up and running?
Yes, sir.
Writing part is also okay, right?
Yeah.
Nice, perfect. Then we can actually wrap up the class for today. So we covered up all the points we planned. So that's perfect. That's awesome. So now next week we just need to try out sub programs, which will basically show us how to create functions. We'll go through functions and let's try a few things out on how to structure it, and then once the sub programs are done, then we can jump into testing and evaluation, and after testing and evaluation this particular unit will be actually done. So let's try our best to actually finish this off next week, so that then I can give you guys some homework and we can jump into the third unit, data. Okay, so any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay, perfect. So if you have any questions or problems, just send me a message on WhatsApp and we can continue this discussion there. Right? Okay then, let's wrap up for today. Are okay, see you.
Okay.
See you. Bye.